All right, Chris here with Goldline Cards coming at you with the breaker version of Around the Hobby. Tonight we've got my great friends on the show, ELOY the GOAT FLORES from GoatsCardBreaks.com, Nick Ledoux, NL City Cards, Chris from Buck City Breaks, and Ben Midwest Box Breaks. It's going to be an awesome show. Super excited to have this set of heavy hitters, superheroes, awesome hobby members, personally just people I want to call my friends on the show. So we're just going to get started. You guys know how it goes. It's going to be, a round of questions here. But first off, I know each one of you brings a little something different to the hobby world. So I want you to just kind of go around, say who you are, what you do, why you're here. Let's go ahead and start with ELOY. What's up, ELOY? What you're collecting and your auction stuff?
So ELOY, and I some smaller break stuff. We have supplies on the website, and just chill and chat.
Sounds awesome. And I think ELOY might have been one of the very first people I was in the hobby with, but I know my first break was Buck City Break. So Chris, why don't you go ahead and tell me, since you guys are like 20 minutes down the road from me. I'm over in Westerville, you guys are in Hilliard. So what are you guys all about there at Buck City?
Oh, Chris, you gotta get over here to the studio sometime, man. But Buck City Break started back in 2017. We're online sports cards breakers, for those who don't know. And this was started with my lifelong best friend, Adam, and myself. Just kind of getting back into the hobby, thought it'd be fun. It was a lot of fun. And eventually what started out as our hobby for the hobby ended up turning into a full-time job with us. And we have two other awesome dudes who moved all over the country to be here. And yeah.
I remember seeing your website. One of the first things I saw was your interview with Triple Play. And I live like 3 minutes from there. And I see Andy and Matt there all the time. So, Ben, you do a lot of things on a lot of different mediums. Go ahead and tell us about yourself. Ben from Midwest Box Breaks.
Hey, guys, I'm Ben. So I've been breaking not quite 3 years. It'll be 3 years this summer. Started collecting when I was a kid. Quit for a few years like a lot of people, and got back in. So that's kind of our area we try to focus on, is people coming back to the hobby, or people that are brand new to it. Came back into cards. My buddy told me about breaks. I checked out Buck City and some other places, and I was hooked. And we've got the Discord channels everybody knows, and there's a bunch of people in there. But we break Monday, Wednesday, Friday usually, and all sports for the most part. I'm still trying to learn hockey, but again, happy to be around. And guys like the dudes at Buck City set the bar for all of us, and here we are. But the big thing is have fun and enjoy what you do, and the rest is easy. So
that's right. Have fun, enjoy what you do. The rest is easy. And Nick up here, I was introduced to him just by, I think he said like, hey, anybody want to join a break chat group? And I was like, yeah, I'm in, man. And he'd be like, all these guys in this chat group would become close friends of mine. So Nick, NL City Cards, tell us about yourself, man.
Yeah, we kind of run a smaller operation than the other guys. We just kind of try and do single boxes here and there, try to hit some older stuff, try to hit some newer stuff. Started in 2016 collecting, really. I mean, I did a lot as a kid, but never really thought it was what it is now, And then a buddy of mine at work kind of told me to come to a card show. I went to the card show and I had a blast. Kind of that's where it started. I think I met Ben back probably a year into. I think I was into it for about a year, and you were starting up, and you asked me to be a part of what you had going on starting up, and I was in there for a little bit. Around 2018, kind of took a break and then came back and kind of just wanted to do some different things and kind of create a group where we could talk and chat. And I still learn every day from the guys in our group. So we started the group as a football group, and it's blossomed into more of a baseball thing. And I've loved every minute of it over the last year. So it's been a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Ben, I noticed you mentioned that you don't know hockey so much, which gets me into my first question, and I'll address to you first, Ben, is what is your favorite and your least product of 2020 that you broke? I know like it's really tedious to break some of these cases with, thousands of cards compared to the one with like 7 or 8 of them in there. So different reasons, and we'll go ahead and we'll put the 40-second clock on.
all right, so I'll say favorite is Bowman's Best, just something about it. Hit after hit. There's 4 autos in a box. It used to be reasonably priced. Right now, everything's a little crazy. Least favorite, I'll say Heritage. Heritage reminds me of that meeting you have at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday where you're dead ass tired and some idiot just keeps asking questions and goes on and on. But at the same time, you're getting dental work, I would say. So I do it because the guys want it, but I'm not a fan of it. And don't break it while you're operating heavy machinery or doing anything important. It's a snoozer.
That's hilarious. Chris, what do you think? What's my brother's in here? Like, you're 40 seconds. I didn't mute you. Okay. Chris, what's your favorite and least favorite product of 2020 that you guys broke?
Man, this is gonna be funny, going back and forth between Ben and I, because I know that he does a lot of baseball. We do predominantly football breaks. So my answers are all gonna be football answers. But for me, man, my favorite product of the year, and I could say Prism or Mosaic or all those beautiful shiny cards, but man, it's Honors Football. And it's because truly, like, you have no idea what you're going to get with those buybacks in there. So it's like a box of chocolates, right? You never know what you're going to get. And so that's why we go with Honors Football here at the BCB Break Studio. It's just the other products, you see the same thing over and over and over again after breaking so many cases. Least favorite, I would say Legacy. They need to bring back classics. I don't know why they took classics out, but they need to bring back classics, Panini.
Oh, you got it. Snuck it in before I could hit the mute button. All right. That's hilarious. Eloy, what's up, man? Least and favorite and least products of 2020. What do you got?
And probably least favorite product is something I saw Chris and Adam do too, and I'm in the same boat with what they were thinking, was Super Break, right? Like, Super Break was not very fun. Some of the hits or chasers in there kind of looks like an art project my 9-year-old would do, or Jetman 80, his background in the YouTube videos, like what they would do. Topps. He had the answer. We matched. Topps Jumbo Series 1. I decided to do a 6-box break of that last year. I might as well just repeatedly punch myself in the nuts because it takes so long. Favorite product, anything Chrome Fantasy Sports breaks boxes.
Muted himself.
And I'm muted now. Unbelievable, Chris. What are you doing? Get it together. You got 41 people watching. Come on.
Nobody's safe.
So, Nick, I know you've broken a lot of things in 2020. We've got some Tim Tebow's and stuff, some 2014 stuff. What's your favorite thing that you broke? Not necessarily a 2020 product, but that you did in 2020. Favorite and least favorite?
My favorite's National Treasures Baseball. We've done 3 to 4 boxes of that stuff, and it's been absolutely amazing. Every single box was amazing. Every hit in it was pretty much something of value. It was just top notch in my opinion. And National Treasures Football is the same for me. So that's my favorite. And least favorite to me was Prism Football. I was just completely disappointed with the whole thing. I think just from an anticipation standpoint and what you're expecting to get out of there, and just to see what actually came out, I wasn't happy.
Nick got muted. Yeah, I wasn't happy with Prism either. I found like 2 megas in the wild, and for all the hype, I'm like, I would have rather had the $150 I could have sold my cards for on eBay than even like opening. I was talking to Kyle, Mr. K Dub. Like, I was like nervous about opening them. Like, I could open these cards, or I could have $150 and to get like a Joshua Kelly. Like, cool, All right. Next question. We'll start with Chris from Buck City. What? The way prices are getting out of control, what products you think will dominate 2021? So what products are really going to take off here? Price points and everything included. Just saw the Don Russ price come out today. What do you think 2021 is going to be? What's going to be the hits?
Man, again, so my answers are always going to revolve around football. I think that we've seen in the past 3 or 4 years, contenders. And I think it was because of the 2000 Tom Brady contenders autograph. Like, that was why contenders was so big. It's a product that Adam and I got back in on back in 2016. And but we've seen Prism and Mosaic and Select really kind of push that to the side. And I think with contenders, man, it's going to come back big in 2021. Right now, I feel like it's half the price for a box of Contenders as it is for a box of Prism. I know it has a lot of paper, but you're getting 5 autographs with 1 on card in there. I think 2021 Contenders football is going to come back, and it's going to come back in a big way. Woo!
That's awesome. You cued the woo right there. I like how you mentioned Select. The Select is slowly becoming my favorite football product.
I love it, man.
Eloy, Mr. Goat, he's giving us a thumbs up. He's like, I'm muting myself. You don't need to hear me breathe. It's cool. So what's your what are you looking forward to? What's going to dominate 2021, Eloy?
I think just still anything that has a retail aspect, really, right? If the people can go to stores and possibly get it there, then it's going to drive the prices up for all of that stuff. Select being a retail aspect now, with baseball last year and football is going to have a retail aspect with it this year. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But Select is my number 1 product, Phoenix number 2, Prism 3. I think that's anything retail that you can get chromium based is going to be still exploding.
Absolutely. I really like what you said, chromium based. I know you wear those gloves every time you break something chromium. There's, fingerprint them up so I don't get my Cooper Cup over here with the chromium. Well, I mean, we're just going to get Trevor Lawrence stuff. So, Nick, what do you got? What's your what product's going to dominate 2021 in your opinion? Unmute, Nick. All right, we'll go ahead and go with Ben.
I got it.
There we go. All right, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I think anything that's already driving the hobby up is going to continue to go up. So, Chrome, Prism, Mosaic, all that stuff. That's what's driving everything right now, and I think it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Awesome. And I gotta agree too that if you can find it in retail, like some of the comments, I haven't seen retail in 6 months. The guys who are outside Targets at 8 o'clock in the morning, there's a line 40 deep. Like, I'm never going to be that guy, but if I'm going to look for diapers or something for my kid, I'm going to take a peek at the aisle. Ben, what do you got? Mr. Baseball over there. Which products should I be looking out for in 2021? What should I come break with you?
Baseball is king. Baseball. People are crazy. They were cheated last year with a partial season. If you look at some of the prices, they're actually going backwards as far as reaching back into things that have already been released. Going through the roof. I think you're going to see them hit it hard with Inception, Tribute, anything that's coming out here in the next, around opening day in April. I think it's going to be crazy. And you see it with Flagship already. I think you'll see a little bit of a shift as the PSA price increases take effect, but I think you'll still see people going nuts over slabbed Chrome rookies, things like that. Again, the Topps Chrome, Bowman Chrome, things like that. And I think prospects will be king again early out of the gate.
Awesome. And one question I specifically want to ask Eloy and Chris about is the regional support of your channel or your business. Because I know, Eloy, I'm going to go to you first here. You go live Friday nights and you do your auctions, and you're on the West Coast. So I like to joke around that you put me to sleep every Friday night because I'm watching you.
It's because I'm boring.
It's midnight over on the East Coast, and I'm asleep, but you're still going strong. So how the demographics of where you live and what you do affect your audience, your target audience, or who buys stuff from you?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, definitely, with the local collectors here, because we already had that connection built. But when I first started going live, it was 5 o'clock after practice or something like that, right? So 6 o'clock. But I've had to push that now to 4:30, sometimes 4 o'clock Pacific time, so I can try to hang out with those East Coast people, But I mean, when we go off at midnight, we just joked in here. Ben and I just joked. The only people that are still on are crackheads and vampires. So, but I mean, 3 o'clock East Coast time, I know you fall asleep. Man falls asleep, but that's because I'm boring. Ask my students.
I tell you all the time, man, you're just YouTube gold. I mean, you have a relationship with my kid where she calls you Eloy and you call her Eclair, and if she's watching right now, she's gonna get a kick out of it. Oh my gosh, he said Eclair. He said Eclair. And you just love that. So Chris, I know you're here East Coast. You're right down the street from me. You guys go live at like 4:30, so that's 1:30 West Coast time. Do you see more of your business on the East Coast, or how do you think where you live and the regional affects what you guys do?
Man, when we first started out, kind of like ELOY, man, when we first started out, we were very cognizant. One, we had to start when we got off of work. So we wouldn't go live until like 8 or 9 o'clock. So it'd be like 4 or 5 on the West Coast. But that's what our mindset was, like, hey, we can't start until it's 5 o'clock. People are off of work on the West Coast. But then, man, those nights kept dragging out. So we got earlier and earlier, 4:30 now. And we still get a lot of cats from the West Coast. I think the pandemic's helped with that, with people more, at home more of the time. But the funny thing is, man, we have a huge group of cats. I don't know if any of them are in the chat right now, but a huge group of cats from the UK. Like there might be 100 people in our chat, and 20 of them are from overseas. And it's been a little British invasion over here at the Buck City Break Studio. We've been talking, though, we might move to Hawaii soon. That way, when we start at 9 o'clock in the morning and go 9 to the evening, it's early. It's still early.
Yeah, and long time ago when I started in your Discord group too, I sold a bunch of Daniel Jones to people, and they were all in England. I'm like, how am I going to ship to England for like less than $20? So it was pretty cool that these people like, hey, I'll pay the extra for shipping or whatever. So, Ben, I'm not sure if that affects you at all in what you do, because I know you guys have timetables and everyone knows when Ben's going live and stuff. So you can hit on that for a little bit.
Yeah. So like everybody else, you make it fit around your life, and, people find a way to go on. I think when I first started, I did 9 o'clock because I saw everybody else going on at 9 o'clock. And then again, those nights, you go to bed at 1 in the morning or something crazy or worse. So we just kind of said 7 o'clock. I switched my job around so I could be done at 3 and home and get set up. So yeah, I do. Thank you. Go Irish. 7 o'clock. And then you're never going to get everybody. There's always going to be, and I get some people, we don't rat them out, but they watch while they're still at work. So a couple of guys live on the edge and watch while they're driving home, which I don't recommend, but 7 o'clock right now, that's it.
And Nick, I know you pushed your break back tonight. You break 8 o'clock on Tuesdays. You just told your guys, hey, I'm coming on this show. We'll go ahead and break later on tonight. And that, everybody was cool with it. I'm in that chat group. They know me, so it's all good. So does that affect you and what you do at all?
No, it's actually kind of strange. We get a lot of I'll post break times, and we have a page on the website that shows what time we're breaking everything. I get a lot of is that Eastern questions. So we're all over the place. So we get a lot of West Coast and things like that where they're asking if break times are East Coast time or West Coast time. So it's definitely pretty widespread. I do love Tim Tebow.
He does. Awesome. So which player is going to be the hobby MVP of 2021? Just for examples, 2020, obviously, I think like Burrow and Herbert dominated. Lewis Robert, Soto, Acuna, Zion and Ja. Chris, you're going to be a football guy. Ben, you're going to be a baseball guy. Is anybody going to throw out basketball? We'll go ahead and start with Ben this time.
I think you'll see a lot of White Sox people, especially if they start out hot. I think you'll see the actual Eloy, and then Robert again, and
the most underrated man in baseball.
Yes, I think you'll see some of the same people, and you see that Soto Acuna battle all year long. That thing will go on forever. I guess it kind of depends on who starts out hot, but again, it'll come down to prospects that start out early, hot in spring training, and I think people will ride that through at least the first half of the season, and then of course the Yankees. Anything Yankees is a winner. So,
Eloy, you're up, buddy. Who's going to be the hobby MVP of 2021?
Yeah, I don't know. Break it down by sport, right? You got football, Trevor Lawrence. But there's 4 quarterbacks, first-round quarterbacks, all 6'3" or taller. It's going to be a huge year for skill positions. You got wide receivers there, not so much running backs. Basketball, of course, LaMelo, Edwards, Halliburton's playing well. Baseball, rookie of the years. You got Arozarena, of course. He wasn't eligible to win it last year. ALCS MVP. Just that series against my Dodgers, baby. But he blew it up. Brian Hayes, think he's a pirate, right? That kid's gonna mash. Dylan Carlson for the Cardinals, I think he's gonna mash. So I don't know. All of those guys, I think, have a chance to just blow up. And I like my man Ben with the Eloy Jimenez. I like that. Our boy Ben. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I think Jimenez is him and Tim Anderson are the two most underrated people in baseball just because Lewis Roberts on the team. Like Tim Anderson just quietly is the best at everything, right? So Chris, take us away with your Trevor Lawrence. Who is going to be the hobby MVP of 2021?
It has to be Trevor Lawrence in this break studio at least, man. But I'll do what Eloy did and try to break it down by sport as best I can. Trevor Lawrence, and then hopefully soon we can rip down that Dwayne Haskins fat head here and put a Justin Fields one up. But Trevor Lawrence, baseball, I'm going to say Juan Soto is going to be a world beater this year, and his prices are going to skyrocket more so than they already have. Basketball, and I know this is just, I feel like I'm regurgitating 2020 here, but Zion, the way that we're going to have full season of Zion pretty much, and the way that he's been playing as of late, it seems like almost every night he steps on the floor, he's breaking, his own personal best. And then hockey, I think Wayne Gretzky. I think that I've heard good things about him. I don't know if he's still playing or not, but. And then cricket, I'm going to say cricket. This is a dark horse here, okay? Cricket, Scott Tag Taylor is going to light the world on fire, and not cricket, rugby, for our Hall FC rugby club.
Since you have like 3 extra sports, I gave you like 15 extra seconds because how am I going to cut that off?
I want to get muted. I'm trying to get muted here, Chris.
You know what? You're going to try to get muted? Keep on talking because boom, muted. All right, Nick, you're up, man. Look, he's over there just, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. Nick.
Yeah, I think Trevor Lawrence is clearly the easy answer there, right? Like he's got Urban Meyer, and he's going to be the first round pick and first pick of the draft, and just the Jags are always loaded with draft picks as it is, anyways. So I think Phil will get a lot of focus going into this year. I think you're going to see a lot of Dodger love this year too. I think they're going to be hard to beat, man. They really are. I mean, I know that that division is just stacked, but it's just you gotta think Bellinger and Seager go up, and then you got Tatis in that division as well, and they stocked up this year. So I'd say
I was looking for. I had a Belly PSA 10 sitting here. I wanted to show, and all of a sudden it disappeared. So that's fun. But yeah, man, Dodgers and the Padres, I think, are just gonna dominate.
I mean, you got Lux coming up. I mean, he's got to have a good year, right? So I
mean, Jesse Winker's just gonna lead the league in batting average, home runs, RBIs. Is that an Ahmed shirt there, Chris?
Oh, you know it, man.
Oh, you know it, man.
It's all that touches his skin is Ahmed.
Chuck P. Cards has an homage tattoo on him. Like if I don't have my Goldline shirt on, every show I do is an homage shirt. I just keep tweeting them, hey man, if I keep wearing your shirts, you're gonna make me one, but they don't ever respond. But we see and Ben, actually I'm gonna have you go first because something happened to you on Twitter today. What is the biggest card that you've ever pulled? Because we see, everyone wants to show your hits. Let's see the hits. What's the biggest card that you've ever pulled? Because I'm sorry if I brought that up as a sore subject for you, but that was a big subject on Twitter today. So
Nope. So tentatively, the Martian, 1 of 1, Papa Giorgio, Papa Dajra, Papa whatever you want to call it, Papadopoulos, as Phil would say. The Brady Mahomes is always going to be my favorite one, and the numbered out of 5. It went for about $12K, I think. It was a great example of what our group's about. 2 guys, one had the Chiefs, one had the Patriots. They instead of randoming off a huge card and somebody just getting kicked in the balls, they decided to sell it and split the money. So that was kind of indicative of what our group's about. So I'm always going to love that one, and 2 GOATs, and we probably should have held on to it till the Super Bowl. So that's going to be my favorite for a long time. It'll be tough to beat.
Nick, go ahead. What's the best pull you've ever had out of a box break?
So the best pull we ever had was Luka, rookie PS or BGS 9 out of Fantasy Sports. So that was probably the best one we ever pulled. That thing was nasty. But my favorite pull was last night. Actually, we pulled a 101 Dennis Rodman auto out of status.
Rodman was sweet.
Absolutely disgusting. Couldn't be happier for the guy that got it. He does a lot to support the group. So, and it's the 90 Bulls, so you can't beat that.
They're already having comments saying, "I know Chris's answer. I know Chris's answer." So let's go to Chris. What's Chris's answer?
Man, Chris, you'd be so proud. We actually pulled that card tonight. Our best card ever, man. It was a Drew Lock autograph out of. I'm just kidding, dude. No, so I pulled it up.
Oh,
I pulled it up. You will love this card. Man, we pulled like. You guys ever pulled the? Have you guys ever pulled the card out of a product? It was an unreal feeling. We pulled this last year, January 1st, 2020, and maybe this is what I tipped off 2020 in the wrong direction. Just only downhill from here. But we pulled a triple auto, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes.
Wow.
1 of 1.
Nice.
1 of 1. And he's in the right jersey for you, Chris, right? Peyton Manning as a Bronco?
absolutely, man. That's like the next bucket list. I got my card I want to show off here real quick when you're done with this for my bucket list. But then, I've got Elway, I've got TD, I've got Eddie Mack, I got Smith, I got Sharp. I don't have a Manning and a Bronco. So, yeah. Eloy, round us out. Then I want to talk about my card right here real quick. Then we'll have one more question, then we'll kind of explain what we're doing next.
It all goes down from there, right? So, like, nothing's going to top that. So let's talk about my favorite types of cards that we've pulled are like the old school Hall of Fame autos, right? Not necessarily newer guys, but anytime we pull a Hall of Fame auto, I just think is really sick and really cool, right? The Hank Aaron's, the King Griffey Jr.'s, Yastrzemski, Magic, Bird. I mean, anytime we pull Hall of Fame legendary guy autos, those are my favorite type of cards, regardless of value. That's just awesome. Because those are the guys that we all grew up and watched, right, when we were kids. So, that's
absolutely. The favorite card that I have that was ever pulled was actually pulled from Buck City Breaks, and it was a redemption. It was a Drew Lock Prism auto, like out of 50 redemption, and end up selling it for like $600. And I'm like, why in the world did I sell Drew Lock? I'm like, oh yeah, it was $600. Like,
but now you know why.
That was a good move.
I'm always mad at me because I sold some of my Jerry Jeudy's last week to another Broncos fan. He's like, man, why are you selling your Broncos stuff? You keep all your dupes. But here's my card, my Lock Judy 1 of 1, part of the glove. That part of my hobby group was just like, Chris, man, you do so much for the community and the hobby. We saw this card. There should have been a third person on there. It should have been you, and touched me so much. Like, I started crying. My wife started crying. Like, all the people in my group, I'm like, send them a video getting all emotional. They're like, we love Weepy Chris. So
the good thing about Drew Lock autos now is at my gas station at the Chevron, they give them away with 5 gallons of gas.
Yeah, that's awesome. If you could pick me up some next time, I mean, I'll even Venmo it to you tonight. My
I'll be working there soon, so.
my LCS was like, oh yeah, we used to give Drew Lock away as the commons to the kids. Now they're like $100 for a Prism. I'm like, now you can just give them away to the commons to my daughter again, and I'll just pretend like they're for her because she only collects Luka and Jordan PSA 10. So there you go. And then this one we're gonna leave no time limit because I haven't really done that at all anyways tonight because this has been a lot of fun and whatever. But I know, Ben, you were talking about the Discord, so actually we're gonna go with you last. But what role has social media played in the evolution of the hobby? I know, like, Eloy, you say you do more stuff on Instagram and YouTube. I do more stuff on Twitter. I'm trying to do more stuff on YouTube. Discord's blowing up. NBA Top Shot's going up. You can buy, sell, trade on, like, any platform now. Like Facebook Marketplaces. It's not where you got to go over to your buddy's house with your binder and, hash it out. So how has social media influenced the hobby or taken it, to the next level? We'll start with you, Eloy.
Yeah, I think I probably do most of my communication on Facebook, actually, with the hobby community, with Twitter and probably Instagram being last, honestly. But you end up building a lot of lifelong relationships. These guys can all say the same thing, I'm sure, right? Like, we have groups of people that I'll talk to more often than I do a lot of my family members, right? And not that I don't love my family, I love my family. MySpace, yes, actually, I do have mine still. No, but we'll just chat all day long because it's easy to pick up the phone and send a tweet or message or whatever. And these are just guys that, they're just lifelong friends that you can call for anything. It doesn't have to be hobby related anymore. I can just call about life and be like, hey, what do you think about this decision? Without getting back into the hobby in a social media form, right? It would be, I don't know where it'd be. Like, honestly, like these are some of my best friends in the world now, right? Big Cat and Mikey Dots and Bobby and Tim and just all these guys, right? Like I can just call up any time of the day. You're like, hey, I'm having an issue. Can you help me out? Can we talk for a little while? And that's what it's about. That's what this meant to me and so many others, I'm sure.
Absolutely, man. It's the community, and people say, they talk about it, but you actually, every single one of us in this room, in the chat, lives it too. Like, just like you said, man, some of my best friends that I talk to more than, my best friends in life or my family members, I talk to them every single day. Or the other day I had a big hit. I called up Nick Lucchese on the phone. He didn't pick up. I called up Tyler Liddy on the phone. Tyler picked up. And I'm talking to Tyler like, oh my God, I just hit this monster card. I can't believe it. Like my wife's at work. My kids aren't here. I'm jumping around. I'm literally shaking, just making a joke. But yeah, the hobby community is more than just cards, man. It's the people. Absolutely. And Nick, you're one of those people in my life. So how has it affected you? Go ahead and take it away, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's it wouldn't be what it is today, right? Everything would be card shows and you'd go once a month and you'd make the best of the trip, right? I mean, I started in 2016, started getting into breaks, started meeting people, ELOY, for Christ's sake, has been there in the middle of the night with my random, hey, how do you do this on Shopify question?
Hey, those used to be my questions for Chris and Adam, so I'm just passing the love.
I hired somebody to do mine. My website will be out Wednesday, so.
There's a guy that I go to all the time on Facebook that I started breaking with. I mean, just being able to connect and reach out and it's also it's impactful and meaningful to be able to know when people are having a bad day and when you can help that, and be able to just, not even from a card standpoint, reach out and just be like, hey, everything all right, man? Like, do you need something? If you do, let me know. I think that means a lot to people more than anything else, just to know that you're not just there to take their $12 for a break or whatever, that you're there to, really reach out and, hey, if you need something, I'll help you. And I think that should be the motto, and I think everyone in this room pretty much lives by that, and I think that's what makes it great. And I don't think it would be what it is today without it.
Yeah, reading some of the comments is, got to have those positive connections versus the negatives. Go ahead and mute, block the negative. Social media is the best, except when it's the worst, because it can also ruin your day just like that. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, but I think if you, I think if you do right and your intentions are good, like it's hard to let it ruin your day. You know what I mean?
I mean,
you really gotta just do right by people, and sometimes that sucks for you, but I think that if you do right by people, it tends to come back to you tenfold.
Absolutely. I know ELOY gives stuff away. Ben sent my kids stuff. Chris, Buck City has. Nick, you guys have sent stuff. And we send stuff away all the time. And it's almost a better feeling when you get a card or I open a pack of cards like, oh, man, ELOY would love this. Or, I got this Chase Claypool and an Irish thing. Let me send it to Ben. He's going to love that. Or, you open packs of cards and you want to send them to other people. That's the community of it.
Chris, I mean, K-Dub sent me a Matt Jones. Everyone knows I love Matt Jones, Florida. Go Gators. No one else in the world collects Matt Jones, just me. K-Dub sent me his rated rookie. Didn't have it. Made my day. Probably a 10-cent card at this point. You know what I mean?
I'm really glad you brought that up before we move on, because literally today I opened a PWE from someone I had no idea, and it was a Jay Cutler rookie because I love Jay Cutler, and it said hobby love from K-Dub. And he sends me a text message like 2 hours later, hey, man, did you get my card today? And I'm at the park with my kids, so I hadn't had a chance to say thank you yet. But literally, that happened to me 4 hours ago. It just made my day.
That guy has a way of making your day.
Yeah, and I mean, he like knows when you're having a bad day. He has this premonition in his head. Then all of a sudden, you'll get a text message from him with some inspirational quote. He's like, man, I feel good. I'm going to go run through this wall. Like, and K-Dub just has that effect on people. We'll move on to Chris. Chris, how is social media, taking over the evolution of the hobby, help Buck City Breaks, or whatever you want to talk about? Just start talking. I'll mute you somewhere along the way. That I'll let you talk some more.
Thanks, man. Not to. I don't want to echo too much. I just say I agree everything with everything that Eloy and Nick said, man, about the community this is. I will echo everything that's been said about K-Dub because he is just one of salt of the earth, man. He's one of the best people I ever got a chance to meet. You know what I mean? But without social media or any of us here, like we're not doing this, man. Like Nick said, it would be card shows and hobby shops, and that would have been really hard in 2020, right? So social media is everything. It's as far as the business aspect of it goes too, like 99% of our business comes essentially from social media, whether it's we're talking on Twitter or Facebook, YouTube, the Discord, etc. But more than anything, man, it's the community. We love Twitter. We're always on Twitter. We kind of neglect Facebook and Instagram a little bit because Twitter is just where we can have conversations, quick little conversations with people all the time. The Discord, I know Ben's going to get into this real big, man. I don't think anybody does it better than Midwest with the Discord, but our Discord, dude, we have a lot of fun. And I feel like an old guy every time I try to get in the Discord because there's so many rooms. There's buy, sell, trade rooms. There are show off your PC rooms. There's dog rooms and cat rooms and like all this stuff, man. And it all comes together. My favorite room that we have right now, and this goes out to my boy JB, whose birthday is today. So happy birthday, JB. But we have a fitness room right now. And everybody in the BCB family right now is kind of getting, really excited about getting in shape and working out again and things like that. And I know I have two friends that really enjoy that fitness room, and it's Taylor and Swift here. So, it's been a lot of fun, dude. But yeah, without social media, none of us are here. We're not doing this. It's been able to maximize this on a level that none of us could have ever fathomed.
That's incredible. And I'll be remiss if I didn't talk about like our Cardboard Connection group that I'm a part of. I kind of run that with Vito, the Point Sports, and he's got his Discord that him and I run. And I talked to Ben because he's like, hey man, jump in my Discord. I'm like, I'd like to, but I'm not very active in Buck City. Like I was real active in yours a while ago. And just like you said, I'm the old guy in the room who doesn't really understand like the 15 different channels and stuff. Like I'd like to be more active, but I'm not. So we've got ours. Obviously, you guys have yours. So, Ben, you're doing this whole new thing that I think is just genius because you're kind of like cornering a market, and I love it. So, why don't you tell us about that? And I'd love you to talk about that, but tell us anything you want to here. Just round us out for the show.
Okay, so I think it hit me the hardest, and social media has been around for a while, going back to Facebook, and Chris held up the MySpace sign or whatever. But about a year and a half ago, I went to South Carolina for work, and it couldn't break. Looked everywhere, could not find an LCS. Okay, I think I went to Walmart or Target, and I'm there looking around, and there's a dude there. I'll say he was 50. We started talking cards. He wasn't on social media. He had no friends that collected, and this guy was just depressed by the fact that he thought he was the only one anywhere that collected. And it really made me think about what we do and how fortunate we are, because this guy loved cards, and you could honestly tell in his face he had nobody to share it with. So I trying to get somebody older to get on Twitter and Discord and things like that sometimes is tough. But it really made me think about what we've got. Obviously, I love Twitter. It's a double-edged sword. It can be good. It can be bad. But I think the pandemic magnified this a lot too, that it's an escape. It's an escape. And I've kind of tried to play the bartender role and encourage people to come in and just hang out and vent and talk and share and relax and not so much, hey, we're filling this break, we're running this Raz, we're doing a mini, whatever, but just come in and we've got a weight, we call it I think it's a fitness or a healthy lifestyle room, things like that. But there's other things in there, Top Shot and your hits room and all that good stuff. But it's an escape. And I've had, I'm sure all of us have gotten thank you notes and DMs and email stuff thanking us, especially during COVID and everything, that it's a way for people to come in and forget about, especially while we were all locked down, that it's a way to forget about that for a little bit. And the cards are part of it. The relationships, so many people we've seen move to tears. If you saw Kim and her son Jeffrey, with our Lasigi thread, and shout out to my boy Kedrick, love it, share it, grow it. People move to tears. We've done fundraisers for people to help pay for funeral expenses, the racks. None of that's possible without social media, and it really makes you think. It's probably the thing I'm most proud of, that you could develop those relationships. And like I think Eloy talked about before, where you're tighter than some family members, honestly, as far as how much you talk and interact. And really the benchmark thing I saw was at the National, when Eloy invited me into his football break, that I forget the name of the restaurant or bar or whatever it was, but to see all these people in the team picture, and that really hit me. And I'm going to kind of try to do something like that myself too this year, assuming we have it. But to see all those people from all over the place sit and BS in a restaurant and stuff, like they've known each other forever. And so in most cases had never even met physically before that. So that was something that I took back from the National. It was probably the experience I liked the most, and hats off to him for doing that. But again, the escape. And as far as the Discord room, when we first set it up, I was lost. In fact, sometimes I'm still lost, but we created a second server, and we're kind of on this anti-eBay movement. I've got guys in the group I've known forever that I trust, vouching for them. We've got about 35 sellers in there. It's a totally separate server. It's nothing but sales. And I think by the time the full week is over, because we started it last Tuesday, will be about 20 grand in sales that people didn't have to pay eBay fees and taxes and all that other stuff. And they're people that I'm backing from our group. And the guys are just, it's crazy. And it's the same things you see on Twitter that are successful, and the guys that always have great sales. PJ, some of those guys that post cards and they're gone instantly because the deals are nuts, way under comps. Kedrick does it too, where they just want to put cards in people's hands. But some of those amazing deals, and they're people that are not worried about getting top dollar, and they're friends within our group and our community. And it's crazy. And I'm really big on keeping those. It's an ecosystem. I don't like the guys that come in an ATM, or the guys you see on Twitter that sell cards. I'm selling cards. You never see them in racks. You never see them in fundraiser events. You never see them. They're about cashing out at the ATM, and I'm so anti-ATM. It's crazy, and it's something I'm proud of, to see people, helping each other out and picking people up. Job loss, catastrophic events, fixing their car, whatever it is, and that comes from social media, and I'm very proud of that too. We all do it. You guys all do it. I've seen some crazy things out of all of you, and we mentioned K-Dub, Crack and Wax, Houdini. I've seen Phil do some cool stuff, where you change people's lives for the better. And with Kim and her son Jeffrey, these are life-changing events that we create through the power of the hobby. And I'd say back when we were kids and we all got together at somebody's house and traded, I think it's stronger than that physical presence, just because of the way social media works and those engagements. So I probably should have muted 15 minutes ago.
No, man, those words needed to be heard that you just said. They need to be heard by everybody. I mean, I don't know if you can see the comments or not, or what you can see, but everyone's just like, oh my goodness, like the hobby community is so great. Like you were talking about giving back, man. I did that polar bear plunge. The hobby, all of you guys donated. The hobby raised over $3,200 for the Ohio Special Olympics.
That's awesome.
I was number 5 in the state of Ohio for fundraising, and I'm getting a tattoo. I'm getting 2 of them. All I said was, if you guys could raise $1,000, I'll go get a hobby-related tattoo. And then $2,000 came, and then $3,000 came. My wife's like, "You're not getting 3 tattoos. That's a little weird." So I got my kids' heartbeats on here. So I'm getting the 1988 Future Stars. That's the year my wife was born. Right under that, So that's my hobby-related tattoo. And I believe Buck City Break said they wanted to see the rated rookie. So the rated rookie's coming on too. So Thursday, 11 a.m. is my appointment to get my tattoo.
You can live stream this on social media, right? Like that's where we tie this all in.
I've asked the dude. He's got to approve it through people because they've got regulations and stuff. But I can at least like picture by picture. But I don't know if he'll let me stream it or not because I don't got 1,000 followers, so I can't YouTube stream it, mobile. But he might let me take my laptop in and stuff. But also, ELOY, it reminded me that back in May, Claire, my daughter, did a fundraiser for the American Heart Association. If you guys don't know, my wife lost her mom to complications from heart and a stroke while she was pregnant with Claire. And my daughter makes these art cards. They're called Claire cards. I know Nick's got some. ELOY's got some. Actually, I have no idea if Ben and Chris, if you guys have any, if I ever sent them to you or not, because we send them to a lot of people. I mean, you guys can imagine. You send enough stuff. You can't remember everything. But she herself raised over $1,000 through the hobby. I mean, Blake Jameson from Project 2020. My daughter bedazzled a Ben Baller Mike Trout. And he bought it for like $300 at auction. Wow. I mean, my kid raised over $1,000 by selling cards that she paints on because you guys are amazing. Like last week, someone tweeted, we need to start paying her towards her 529, which is Ohio College Fund. I'm like, nah, dude, we're just having fun. You're just throwing stuff out there. It's like, nah, man, we got to start a college fund for her and stuff. So, I mean, the hobby is just like, I'm seeing all these people in the chat here that are just amazing people. My friends, literally, that I talk to like every single day. I mean, Eric Hecker is sitting here saying that's amazing. He's the guy who's sending out a rack a day every single day. Like he is literally giving something away every single day this year. I mean, does it get better than that? I don't know. But typically, well, that's going to round out our show. We're at 47 minutes, so I wanted to go like 30. But now is the time, if you're watching, to start commenting on a winner. So I'm going to write down all these comments, upload the video, let it go a week. And then 1 week from then, I'm going to give one of you four $50 to give away and break credit, auction credit, however you want to give it away, random it off. Somebody who needs some help, needs some cards. I don't care what you do. So typically the last minute of the show, whoever's the winner, I declare them the winner. And they get a minute of uninterrupted time, just like the show Around the Horn. They talk about whatever they want. But I'm going to take this minute to talk about, to start commenting right now who you think won, who's the winner right now. Because I'm literally, does somebody make a comment? Because nobody's commenting on this. Just how do you pick? Ross says, how do you pick? Is everybody getting $50? Am I giving out $200? Am I going to have to make the win? But yeah, so just type in somebody's name. I'll start tallying them up, and then your head. Or hey, if you want to be anonymous, send me a DM or something. If you don't want to know, if Vito is in here, if he picks Chris but doesn't want Ben to know because he's likes you and you guys are pals or something, and you're gonna.
Oh, we're all over that.
Oh yeah. Ben's going to be so mad. He's going to come with his Fighting Irish friends and come get you. And Nick's going to block you on Twitter because you didn't vote for him because that's the kind of people we are. No, I'm just kidding around.
I'd vote for Chris. He kind of looks like if Tony Stewart and Wolverine had a kid together somehow. I think that's what you would get. I would vote for him.
Did you say Tony Stewart?
I'm talking about Goldline Chris.
Oh, gosh. I was like, gosh. To me, Chris is
picture that. Wolverine and Tony Stewart have a kid together. That's Chris. He is sexy AF, as the kids would say.
There's some guy who keeps commenting on all my videos. Hey, there's Kevin James. There's Paul Blart, Mall Cop. I'm like,
oh no,
come on.
Oh,
dude.
That's the worst thing to happen.
I like the Wolverine and
that's a compliment there. So, we'll go ahead and talk for about another minute. Just jibber jabber amongst yourselves to try to get some votes in. And like I said, I'll upload this to YouTube tomorrow. Start the votes and I'll let you guys know who wins. And $50, like I said, break credit comes straight from me to you. Thank you guys so much for being on. I took up almost an hour of your night tonight.
Oh, I had a good time.
Yeah. I had a great time. I hope you did too. Just a bunch of buddies hanging out. Chris, hopefully I can make it over to you guys' facility soon because like I said, I'm like 20 minutes away. Love to come hanging out. Ben, you're in Indiana, so you're not far.
Nope. come to
Nick,
Ohio.
you're up by Buffalo, so I'm not on the way to Niagara Falls. And Eloy, we'll come hunt.
Yeah, I'm
for
just in the
Bigfoot
corner
one
of
day.
the country. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, but I like looking for Bigfoot. That's my guy. So if you got some woods near your house, I'll definitely come out and start hunting for some Bigfoot, you know. So that's all I got tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and play the exit music, then end broadcast. I'll go ahead and tally up votes. But thank you so much. Goldline, we like to say at the end of our shows, it's good people doing good things, be good people, and do good things. So thank you for watching. We out. Everybody, thank you.